TLC is in the books, and we are moving on with more episodes of Raw as we are now building towards Royal Rumble. But what happened from the fallout from TLC, we're going to find out in this episode. Stay tuned. This is your Raw review. What's up, Maniacs? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And today we are talking about Monday Night Raw. We had a pretty decent show in some parts, very kind of hot and cold, if you like. Some things really worked, some things didn't work so well. But I guess that is Raw. That's what we've come to kind of realize that Raw is. But we're going to go through all of it today on this show, so stay tuned. And right here at WrestleManiac UK, I discuss everything that is WWE and AEW. So if this sounds like the place for you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into the review. And the show started up with Charlotte Flair making her return to Monday Night Raw after 6 months off. She was kind of saying, first night back in the Thunderdome or whatever, she's come, she's picked up the tag team championship, and she couldn't do it without her best friend, her partner, Asuka. So they were really kind of stressing that these two have a really good relationship. And Asuka came out kind of saying similar things that, I'm now a double champion and that I couldn't have done it without my partner, the Queen, Charlotte Flair. And then they were cut off by Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax coming out and kind of asking for a rematch and saying this, that, and the other, the usual heel talk at this stage. They got into the ring and then they were cut off by Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, who were kind of poking fun at Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, comparing them to all kinds of Christmas related things, reindeers and all this kind of stuff, but eventually saying that they look different because they have lost their women's tag team championship. So all of the women involved here were just kind of jockeying for position. This was going to be the beginning of what was going to be a match between Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke taking on Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. It was scheduled for the show anyway, but I guess Charlotte kind of pushed it through happening now as these guys are all out here. And Charlotte Flair and Asuka went on to commentary while these guys had it out in the ring. And one thing I noticed straight away was that, I know Charlotte is just returning, but they were really treating Charlotte as if she was the women's champion and giving her all the spotlight. And yes, that might be a thing with, Asuka and language barrier and all of this, but we all know Asuka's speaking English, but they just only focused on Charlotte Flair on commentary as if Asuka wasn't even there. It was Charlotte that was occasionally asking Asuka stuff and bringing Asuka into the conversation. So it was a bit weird. But I can understand maybe Charlotte just came back and that's why they're looking for her opinion on everything. The match itself, better than I expected. They gave it longer than I expected, which is good. These women's matches deserve some time as well as much as the men's matches in some cases. And these lot really kind of showed how good they were all in the ring. Mandy's running knees, I'm beginning to love them. I just absolutely love every time she hits them. I think they're so great. Dana Brooke even showed measures of athleticism in this match, but in the end, Shayna Baszler got the win for her team with the Kirifuda clutch on Dana Brooke, I think it was. So yeah, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax get away here with the win. But good match to kind of start us off and get us into the show. It was pretty decent, and like I said, it was better than I had expected that we were gonna get on the night. Next up, we had a match between Angel Garza and Drew Gulak. These guys that are just completely underused. This match was a bit of a nothing match out of nowhere. Gulak was in the ring. Angel Garza cut one of his Lethal Lothario promos backstage, if you like, before he came out. Giving the interviewer a rose, came out to the ring. He was particularly aggressive. These guys didn't get as much time as they should have. And, in the end, Angel Garza won with a wing clipper. It was done in like about 5 minutes or so, 5-6 minutes maybe. Bit of a nothing match, but I guess it's good to see Angel Garza be given back a spot on TV. Maybe they've got plans for him going forward. We'll see, but definitely a talent that that we all look out for and care about because he's very good at what he does. So yeah, great to see Angel Garza back on the screens. Next up, we had a Miz TV segment. So I want them to be done with this, but it took a bit of a twist, this segment, so let's give it a chance. Miz and John Morrison were in the ring, and they were coming to apologize on Miz TV to AJ Styles for fluffing the cash-in. And what was very interesting, AJ Styles came down and said, he was like, explain yourself, Miz. What happened the other day at TLC last night? And Miz, gave this impassioned promo, which he does very well all the time. I won this 10 years ago. I want to win the WWE Championship again. I messed up. This was supposed to be our night. I don't know how he quite explains it's going to be Miz and AJ Styles' night becoming who's going to become WWE champion, and why is it both of their nights? But yeah, he was very sorry. He was very remorseful. Said that he messed it up and everything like that. Almost came into the ring, and I can't remember what he said exactly. He said that I think he's telling AJ Styles, don't forgive him. He messed up the opportunity when John Morrison cashed in the briefcase. And then as John Morrison and AJ Styles are going at each other, a light bulb went off in Miz's head where Miz was saying, that is exactly it. I never cashed in this money in the bank, yet I'm the only person that's allowed to cash it in. John Morrison cashed it in for me. Therefore, I should get back the briefcase. Very, very interesting. And I like that kind of angle. At the end of the day, I still don't think that, the Miz is going to make anything of this cash in. I think they've completely messed up Money in the Bank this year and probably have done for the last four years or so. But it's a nice little twist that they can still play off the fact that he didn't actually cash in that Money in the Bank contract himself. He's making up noise, demanding it back. Drew McIntyre comes out, and Drew McIntyre has got his own kind of pantomime-ish kind of play. He wants to give us some poetry that he wants to speak through, very much like the Miz, AJ Styles, and John Morrison did the week before. He's accompanied by Sheamus and Keith Lee as well, and eventually this just ends up in some big scrum in the middle of the ring. Those guys, the face team, if you like, beating up Miz, John Morrison, and AJ Styles. And in the end, AJ Styles drop kicks Keith Lee into Sheamus, who have been having some little backstage stuff between the two of them. And Sheamus kind of starts on Keith Lee, but Drew McIntyre gets involved to just cool it down and, let Sheamus know it was an accident. We've got to work together. We've got this, upcoming match on the night, this street fight between all six men that we've talked about in this segment. So it's important that we all stay on the same wavelength. And again, this continued backstage with Sheamus still wanting to kind of lay into Keith Lee defending himself. Very interesting. I'm gonna say a couple words about these guys towards the end of the show. But yeah, that was that particular segment. The pantomime stuff was just come on, but yeah, it is what it is. Next up, we had TBar from Retribution versus Ricochet. This is still Mustafa Ali's attempts as Retribution leader to get Ricochet on side. Join us, you don't need to be out there. You need to be alongside with us. You're one of us. Ricochet not having it. Again, he puts up a decent fight. Ricochet is so good in the ring. I watch so much more for him. Apparently, he cut some type of impassioned promo on Raw Talk afterwards. So I'm yet to check that out. But yeah, Ricochet, I think they need to do something with him. He's just become like a high profile jobber, if you like. So yeah, he lost here to TBar despite his best efforts to fight off TBar, Slapjack, even Mustafa Ali, Mace included. He lost here to TBar, and TBar cut a promo after the match telling him again, you're one of us. Listen, follow instructions, join us, sort of thing. Maybe it does lead to him joining them eventually. Who knows? But yeah, it's not looking good for Ricochet right now. He's not really doing much, nothing productive anyway on the show. Right, next up on the show, we had a VIP lounge segment with the Hurt Business. But just before we get into that, guys, if you are enjoying today's review, please make sure you hit the like button. Smash the like button. In fact, it does loads for the channel, and I thoroughly appreciate it right here at WrestleManiac UK. So again, please smash that like button. VIP lounge segment with the Hurt Business. It was good to see all the boys here with the titles. I mean, I know they kind of said maybe a bit earlier than scheduled. They said on TLC last night they've got all the gold. Well, they don't have all the gold because they don't have the WWE Championship. But I'm happy with this so far. I said on my Instagram the other night, WrestleManiac.uk. If you're not following, follow me on that on Instagram. I don't mind if they don't have a WWE champion within their ranks, as long as they recruit Naomi to Hurt Business. Whenever she's good to come back to WWE, she's already on Raw. Put her in the Hurt Business. Get her to women's champion again, and yeah, I'm content with the Hurt Business being at the top of the game. But right now they look pretty good, and this was MVP bringing these guys all together for an official photo shoot. We saw in the background R-Truth was in the background of their picture of his 24/7 title, and then obviously the 24/7 division came running out. That didn't come to nothing, and then it brought Riddle and Jeff Hardy out, who came out to basically. I mean, I'm lying if I tell you word for word what they said. Riddle was talking a load of crap as far as I'm concerned. Jeff Hardy basically said, you know, there's more to life than championships and money and status and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then, yeah, he's just setting up for their match later on in the night where Hardy and Riddle were going to take on MVP and Bobby Lashley. So, yeah, this is all it was. It was a setup, but I think the dialogue here by Hardy and Riddle was just terrible. It was just bad stuff, man. Yeah, Riddle was just going on and on and on, but yeah, whatever. And in another kind of whatever segment, if you like, we had Elias come out with obviously Jackson Riker, who is his right hand man now, if you like, and he was interrupted. He was about to do a song, his usual stick, where he was interrupted by Lucha House Party, Gran Metalik, accompanied by Lindsay Dorado. And Gran Metalik had a match with Jackson Riker. This lasted maybe the whole of 2 minutes. And Jackson Riker put Gran Metalik away with like a sit down choke slam kind of move. Really impressive move. Riker looked really good. Aesthetically, and just, you know, how he goes in the ring sort of thing, just a big kind of power guy sort of thing, worked out for him. So yeah, it was just a nothing match, just put together and thrown in the show, which I just don't understand how they can be doing and then complaining about ratings, you know, in the same breath. But you know, it happens. I guess they got to get people on the show. Probably one of the highlights of the show, and something they probably should have opened with, something we were all looking forward to. Randy Orton speaks, and this is Randy Orton explaining how he feels about what happened with the Fiend last night, and he's felt very good about himself. You know, he was saying, I'm a sick man, I'm a sick son of a bitch. You know, I done this, I burnt this man alive. You know, living like literally in awe of himself, radiating so much pride from what he had done. And he said, yeah, you know, the Fiend is gone, he's dead now, he's gone for a very long time, blah blah blah. And it looked like he was maybe about to leave the ring when all of a sudden the light started cutting out, in terms of like cutting out Fiend style, and Randy Orton was like, no, this can't be happening, you know, I killed this guy. Like, how can this be happening? Randy Orton jumps out the ring now, lights come back on in a very kind of dull aesthetic way. Alexa Bliss is in the ring in what seems to be a playground. Alexa Bliss goes on to explain, this is the playground that he built me. And she makes several puns of burning and catching fire and barbecue jokes and all of this kind of stuff with Randy Orton. Randy Orton eventually gets back in the ring, and Alexa Bliss continues to talk on, you know, he's gone. But she does emphasize he's gone for now, but he'll be back like and badder than ever. She said something along the lines of this. And this is now, I guess, going to be, is it the second iteration of the Fiend? Is this something, some type of like the Fiend evolves into something else? It's going to be very interesting to see. I think the Fiend and Alexa Bliss have been some of the best characters on Raw in the last couple of months, and Randy Orton's done a really good job ever since he's been pulled out of the WWE picture to come into this particular feud. Um, yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens here. I guess Bray Wyatt's going to be off TV for a bit. Maybe we see him in the Rumble. Who knows? Maybe we see him. I think maybe not in the Rumble necessarily, but maybe we see him cost Randy Orton his position in the Rumble. So say the Rumble's going on, and the Fiend comes out and pulls Randy Orton out of the ring, or pulls Randy Orton through the ring, or something like that. I think that'll be a really good way to reintroduce him as a character. I don't think he can afford to be off TV for too long with how they are talking about ratings. I don't really know if they class the Fiend as a draw, but definitely he's gonna tangle with Randy Orton, one more time. They've got unfinished business 100%. But that was a really good segment, probably the best segment on the show, to be honest. We had a tag team match, Asuka and Charlotte versus Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans. So this was the first outing of Asuka and Charlotte as champions. And Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans, we know they've got chemistry problems trying to put them together. We're still all asking ourselves, why the hell did they split the Iconics? This just, it makes no sense. And especially now, it looks like, Charlotte and Asuka are champions. Charlotte and Asuka are also going to be on SmackDown defending the championship this week on SmackDown. All of a sudden, that division has been given a bit of a lift, and there's like no one in the division apart from makeshift teams. So it makes no sense. But this was a decent match, nothing special. I see a lot of cause for concern online that, Charlotte just came back and walked into a championship match and won the championship and her character hasn't changed. But I think it's just that you can see the general lift she's given to this division in one night, and I think that's what they've missed more than anything. They will eventually, I don't think they have any real long-term plans as someone as big as Charlotte being tag team champion. And in her opening promo, I didn't touch on this then, but I'll say it now. In her opening promo, she was saying something about the Raw Women's Championship before she got cut off by Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. So she clearly still has her eye on the big one. But yeah, she's done a favor for Asuka, and that's why she's the women's champion right now. But yeah, this match was okay. I think it was a good showcase of Peyton Royce again. Peyton Royce is a really good talent. You can see her ability in the ring is very good every time she steps in the ring, but she got put away with a figure eight by Charlotte Flair. She tapped out. So yeah, Charlotte and Asuka won the match here. Last but not least, we had the street fight, the holiday street fight that was advertised. Sheamus, Keith Lee, and Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles, The Miz, and John Morrison. Fun match to end the show. I think one thing is that they took a bit too long to introduce the weapons, and it's a street fight. Why would you, like, the minute the bell rings, if I'm in a street fight, I'm going for a kendo stick 100%. So yeah, I don't know why. And I always think like matches like this should just be like tornado tag matches, not all this tag, because it's like if it's a street fight, right? Why is there rules? You see what I mean? So yeah, I think that's one trick they probably missed in this match. But other than that, the match was pretty fun. We saw a lot of funny spots, guys going through tables. We saw almost put John Morrison through a table. We saw AJ Styles get power bombed through a table by Drew McIntyre, and he had eggnog all over him on the floor. Yeah, really, really decent match. And the match it looked like Drew McIntyre was going to put away Miz with a Claymore kick. Sheamus tagged himself in and said, let him finish it with a bro kick. Drew McIntyre said, no problem, do your thing. And then just before Sheamus could get off the bro kick, he was tagged out by Keith Lee. Keith Lee tagged himself in, and gave Miz the spirit bomb for the win. So all three men celebrated in the middle of the ring. In the middle of the celebration, Sheamus hits Keith Lee with a bro kick, knocking down Keith Lee. Drew McIntyre is furious, saying, "Look, I vouched for you. Why did you do that? We just won the match. Now he's going to think that, this was some setup or something like that." Yeah, it wasn't the smartest move from Sheamus, but Sheamus clearly just remained on the same page with Keith Lee for the sake of the match. And now the match was done. He wanted nothing to do with him. So what I had to say is that I think that Sheamus has thrown his cap into the ring in recent weeks to be a Royal Rumble winner, a possible Royal Rumble winner. The story with him and Drew McIntyre is there. Him and Drew McIntyre would go on to main event, a WrestleMania match. And with the possibility of not maybe being a full capacity WrestleMania, they may get away with that. It won't be poo-pooed on too much. But I think we can get a nice brutal match between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Sheamus doesn't have to win. Drew McIntyre can retain the title, but I just think in recent weeks, Sheamus could possibly be a contender, especially with this good friendship bromance they're telling between him and Drew McIntyre. He could be a winner for the men's Royal Rumble match. Big E is still there for me. Big E could be a possible winner as well. Keith Lee is even in the names for me as well. But I think it really, Sheamus in recent weeks, I would say, has jumped to top of the pile. And yeah, that could be very, very interesting. Guys, that was your Raw review. Let me know what you think down below in terms of, is Sheamus a possible winner for the men's Royal Rumble match? I think so. But you guys let me know what you think. And let me know what you thought of Raw in general following TLC. TLC was a bloody good pay-per-view. This Raw didn't quite live up to that. But I enjoyed TLC. Guys, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. Happy Christmas. Happy New Year. All of that stuff. Enjoy your holidays. WrestleManiac UK signing out. And I'll see you soon.